Hello and welcome to the Jeff and Jamie feed. We're here to talk about all things food and beverage here in Charlotte, North Carolina, where Jeff and I have a handful of restaurants here. And today we are going to be talking about one of them. And I love your hat.
I love your shirt.
Well, thank you.
Look at the olive on there.
And what I've done here is I actually have one of our Olivelli Deli t-shirts on. It's an extra large because that's what we had in our car. But I have very fashionably rolled up the sleeves and tied it so it doesn't look like I'm swimming in this shirt. But that hat looks super swell on you, Jeff.
Oh, it fits nicely, better than the extra small shirt you gave me for the try-on fitting of our first demo shirt.
That did not work for you very well at all. No offense. So we're going to talk today about our latest restaurant concept that we've opened up. It's called Olivelli Deli, and it's a super unusual restaurant, and it's in the NoDa neighborhood. Of course it is, right? And it's in what we know of as a former storage space here at Growler's Poorhouse that we operated a donut shop out of for 7 years.
It is nice to be back to 6 restaurants. It was a little awkward there for a few months when people asked how many restaurants we had. We're
like kind of 5, almost 6.
Yes.
But we operated Reigning Doughnuts there in that space for 7 years. And we made all fresh, hot, made-to-order donuts. It was basically one of those fryer lines where you drop the dough, send it on through. It took how many minutes? 3 minutes for a batch to make it through?
It takes about 2 minutes for the first one to come off the line, and then that machine would make a dozen donuts per minute once it got up and running.
And so we had very little space. It's only 82 square feet in that little tiny closet. So we would use just one base cake and we would put different icings on it. So we had, chocolate with sprinkles, vanilla. We would do a variety of daily flavors, lemon poppy, and we'd do crazy flavors like banana creme brulee and
fried chicken skins.
Yes, all sorts of flavors. But as many of you know, we closed down the donut shop earlier in 2026 for a number of reasons. Jeff, why did we do that?
Well, as we saw on the last day of service, that we came out and the machine broke. It was just always tough. The machine was difficult in that tight space, and we had a number of problems with it. And if a piece broke, it would sometimes take, 3, 4, 5 days to get another piece in and get it up and running again. And we were just shut down and having to deal with employees that couldn't come to work. And so it was a little bit of a struggle from that standpoint. And the air quality was always a struggle. We were spending thousands of dollars a year trying to filter the air and trying to keep growlers smelling nice. And it was always tough and always a challenge. So.
Yeah, and a big part of the challenge was once we closed down, getting that machine out of that 82 square foot space.
Yeah, so we had to come and take the machine completely apart. I thought we were going to have to cut it, but we were able to just unwire everything, take it apart, get it in halves, and get it out of here.
Yeah, and it became very apparent once we got the machine out of here just how much wear and tear that concept had on that little tiny corner of our building. Just, it's just the grease and residue from frying things.
A lot of oil, and it's tough.
So it took weeks and of cleaning out and scouring with brushes and so forth, putting in new FRP painting, all that kind of stuff to kind of clean it up and make it usable for a deli concept.
It's so fresh and clean now.
It's so fresh and clean.
Beautiful over there. You did such a great job with all the little design touches.
Outside. I was like, inside there's not much to it.
Just the new colors and the design touches and all the little olives and olive leaves around and the little dots you added.
They're actually olive tree leaves.
Yeah,
olive tree flowers. That we have outside. It was super fun. I mean, this was a major collaborative effort to get all those branding elements together. One of our designers worked on the logo, Olivelli Deli, so we got that. We had an artist come and actually do the exterior painting. So we hired her to, actually get the logo up on the brick, which is pretty tricky to paint on brick because this is old brick. And I think she did a phenomenal job. That was Jen Hill. And
you just free-handed the hours, though, too. That was
don't forget about
really
the hours.
Impressive that you just came and wrote those hours up there.
That was
in a looks like a font that you chose. It was amazing.
It was a head game for me. I was falling apart. I have to be honest. It was like 90 degrees outside, and I saw myself on like the U of the word hours, knowing that I still had to write the word like Tuesday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And I'm freehanding this whole thing. I mean, I literally almost melted down, but we got it together. I do love how it's turned out. The colors are great. We're using a really nice dark green, and then it's called Dard Hunter Green and from Sherwin-Williams, and then a Leapfrog Green, which is like a lighter green. We're using a Irish cream color for the cream color, and then I think it's called Cayenne for the orange pop of color that we have out there.
I love that you know all your Sherwin-Williams colors.
Well, it's important for the design of it. It all kind of integrates together. So, but yeah, I love the thing is you have to know about our exterior is that our exterior at Olivelli is our interior because we don't have an inside space. People order at a walk-up window and they pick up at a window, and they can eat at picnic tables. So we had to be super aware of how the brand came to life on the exterior of the building. So you'll even see that we've painted the electrical boxes going down the block just to kind of make it all feel like you're part of that experience as you turn the corner on 35th in NoDa.
It's pretty cool over there. And turn the corner, it changes. You turn the corner now, and there's a line of people out there getting sandwiches.
It's been great, but let's talk about like the how we created this to be a little bit different, like in terms of the quality of the sandwiches and the soft serve. You know, I think we both were pushing ourselves to make sure that it wasn't just standard sandwiches and standard soft serve.
Well, yeah, I think we set out with some pretty ambitious goals, and especially ambitious goals for a 82 square foot sandwich shop. However, let's not forget that it's connected to Growler's Poorhouse and Everondolo, and Haberdish is one door down. So the resources we have over here, and we set out, we wanted to make homemade rolls, and so we said we can only have one piece of bread. That has to be what we do. We did not want to get into a foot long or
wheat bread and rye bread
rolls and flavored bread. So we just wanted to have one awesome roll. We kind of settled on this Kaiser roll style roll. We spent a long time dialing in what that size should be, and it was pretty much about what I wanted to eat for lunch. But
yes, but also like looking at the bread ratio, the bread to meat ratio, and that was such a huge role in our R&D. For making those sandwiches.
The roll and the roll of the roll is very, very important. And we wanted to put Benny seeds on there to kind of give it a little bit of a Southern North Carolina touch. And we love the way that the Kaiser roll looks. You kind of roll it out into a long string, and then we tie it into a knot, and it bakes that way, and it has a beautiful top to it and some texture. And it really looks awesome, and it eats well. So a lot of time on the bread.
And I've noticed some of our, just looking at the specs of them right now, are the knot of the bread. We got to keep working on that,
Yes.
And I know we'll get better and better. It still tastes the same, but I think there's a little bit of refining that we can do with the knot itself.
You can see the second day that somebody makes the bread, and the third day, versus the first day. It is a whole thing. But yeah, the team's doing a great job, and and keeping up is not easy. So we started with the bread. And then we moved on to the meats, where we wanted to have the best meats that we could find. And so we started with our turkey.
Yes. So we're using a brand called Mackenzie. And what we love about it is I always try to think about when we're making the food for our restaurants, would I feel good about giving this to my children? I know I'm a little bit particular about what they can eat. And would I feel good about giving them this turkey? And what I like about it is that it's hormone-free, antibiotic-free, and thoughtfully raised. So to me, that's about as great as you can get. And I think the flavor of it's tremendous.
It's awesome. We actually started using it over at Growlers about 6 months ago. After we found it, we started product testing it and using it. And it's been fantastic, and people don't know that they have the best turkey that we could find on their sandwiches at Growlers, but now they have those at the deli. And then I think we learned as we're moving into the Italian meats, we're sourcing all of those from Italy, and we're using a lot of the meats that we're putting on a high-end charcuterie board at Everondolo.
That's right. So your salamis, your capicola, your prosciutto, all of those, we're bringing that, and mortadella too, which is my kids' favorite. They're bringing in from Italy for us to fresh slice. And that's one of the things I think that's so great about being connected to the kitchen at Everondolo, is that we have this gorgeous meat slicer back there.
Flywheel Italian meat slicer. It's awesome.
Jeff just loves this thing. But what it allows us to do is to have that freshly sliced meat.
And super thinly sliced and expertly done. And the team does an awesome job with that.
Yeah, that makes a big difference. So
and that moves us to
soft serve.
No, it moves us to the pantry that we had to create these sandwiches. We'll get to the soft serve. Soft serve's fun.
It's soft serve.
But the pantry, I think one of the cool things is we knew that in this small sandwich shop we couldn't have a lot of sandwiches. That we decided we'd only do 6 sandwiches, and that was going to be our lunch menu, and try to hit different categories with those 6 sandwiches. But we started looking around and seeing we wanted to have a special item or 2 special items on every single sandwich. And we started looking around and we're like, wow, we have an incredible pantry sitting around. And so we have the Calabrian chili crisp. We have the jalapeno peach jam for the jam on turkey. And then you can't forget, we do make burrata every single day for Everondolo. So we have fresh burrata, we have fresh burrata cream,
and we have pesto.
We have fresh pesto sitting around. We have just incredible, super high-end, well-made ingredients sitting around, and it really let us shape our sandwiches and have an incredible breadth and really cool ingredients to add to these.
I totally agree with that. I think one of the things, at a deli, like, of course you can get a turkey and cheese sandwich, but what we hoped to do is really curate something really special in every single one of those sandwiches. So there's 6 lunch sandwiches, and then we have 4 sandwiches that are on our breakfast menu that's served from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. And they're each really special, really unique. So like we call it our jam on turkey sandwich. It has that Mackenzie turkey we were talking about, a provolone cheese, and then this peach jalapeno jam. And I have to tell you, I just love that. I would just eat that with a spoon. It's so good. And of course, I just get it on lettuce because I don't eat the bread, which looks amazing. But I'll either pick it up or eat it with a knife and fork. And it's fabulous.
So you're a rock star, just eating the sandwiches without the bread. But
they're delicious.
I don't know if people really know how important the small details of making and putting these sandwiches together are. And we hammer this home with the staff, but the way we've built the recipes is from top to bottom, and we go actually bottom to top. Sorry, bottom to top. But it matters what order you put the ingredients in, and if it says mayo goes on the bottom and jam goes on the top, it actually matters. And so those layers all matter, and those little touches, and we have these fine little touches. Like a lot of people do oil and vinegar in their mix, and we do oil, vinegar, and a little bit of olive brine.
That's right.
And we dress everything. We go through the trouble. We soak all of our red onions for 20 minutes.
I think we're calling it bathed. Some people are asking, what does bathed red onion mean? Okay, on our menu it says bathed red onion, and the reason is because Jeff is very particular about red onions.
Very particular.
And all of those onions are soaked for at least 20 minutes before they'll get onto a sandwich. But I want to go into what you're talking about, the sandwich build, and you said, it matters how it's built. The reason it matters it's how it's built is, I think, twofold. One, it's the flavor and how it hits your mouth. You're taking that bite and you're getting those flavors, popping on your tongue in just the right way. But the other part is because of the textures. If you don't have them built in the right way, things could slide off the sandwich more. So having it built in a certain way, it will keep the sandwich together more as you eat it. Because if you have mayonnaise and then peach jalapeno jam, they're all smushing together.
It came to light for me when we were doing the sandwiches here at Growlers, and we started rolling out sandwiches a long time ago, and I had worked with one of our sous chefs to kind of create those sandwiches, and we had them all dialed in, and then we had a tasting where we were kind of presenting to the team, and the sandwiches started coming out, and I was like, that doesn't taste right. That's not very good. This doesn't taste, and everything was wrong. And I go back over there, and I'm like, and he's like, I'm doing it just, as we did it before. And I'm like, but you're not doing it in the same order. And we learned very quickly that
how particular you are.
Well, how particular I am, but how important the order matters, and how those flavors do come across. It really is. It's extremely important. And all those details do matter. I think that bathing the onions matter. I think the
Absolutely.
little touch of olive brine in the
olive oil and vinegar
in the olio italiano matter. I think that having an awesome cheese matters. I think that we make an incredible tapenade. I think that matters. Anyways,
no, I think you're absolutely right. So that's the sandwiches part of Olivelli Deli, but then we've got the soft serve part, which has been a really big challenge, because I know some of you might look at it and be like, oh, all you need is a soft serve machine and you can make soft serve, because there are bagged mixes out there. You just order, you bring them in, and you just add water to them. Well, the challenge here was that I didn't feel good about feeding that to my kids.
Oh, first we went and looked.
We tried it.
We went and looked at the machine, and they let us do like a kind of tutorial on the machine, and then like, oh, we have some mix. So they mixed water with the mix that they had, and oh my gosh, I couldn't even eat the soft serve.
It's probably tasty, but just doesn't have maybe the complexity of using natural ingredients and everything.
It was just too sweet and kind of made you drink a whole bunch of water afterwards, and
yes.
So it was. I complain because it was a little bit of a battle to kind of dial in the soft serve, but I really did have a good time with the challenge of. You gave me some extra challenges of no corn syrup and some of those other ingredients that are off your list. But we have a lot of whole natural ingredients in the soft serve, and it took a lot of math. But we figured it out.
Math and chemistry.
We dialed it in, and we have we have just great ingredients and as few emulsifiers as possible. Colleen was a big help. She really understands a lot of those emulsifiers and how they work, and I think we made a mix that also our team can execute, and that was kind of important too.
So we're making the soft serve with fresh cream and egg yolk. So, instead of having that powdered mix, we're using these whole ingredients. So it is a totally different thing. I love also that, and I don't know the kind of vanilla we're using, but I do know the chocolate.
It's a vanilla bean paste.
A vanilla bean paste. So you get those rich vanilla flavors in there. And then we use Valrhona chocolate in the chocolate soft serve. So having, that's like over $15 a pound. It's a good chocolate.
Those ingredients are super expensive, but it's also, we don't have the space to order two different chocolates, nor would I want to. That's what we use in our pastry program. So that's what we're using in our soft serve. It's very, very high end, and it's awesome.
But you can tell the difference in the flavor when and I've just had a couple tastes of it, but I find our soft serve to be not that sweet. I think it's, just a little bit more of a subtle flavor. You add a little bit of salt in there too, don't you?
There's just a little touch of salt. Yep. And you can see the vanilla bean paste in there. And when we switched over from the just regular vanilla extract to the vanilla bean paste, wow. It made difference. A huge difference. Yeah, for sure. And there are so many challenges, I think, that soft serve brings about, that it's in a machine and it's kind of constantly churning. So the fat ratio matters a lot. If you mess up and you don't have your ratios right and you haven't mixed it right, it'll turn into butter in the machine, which is kind of crazy. I did that once.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously we've talked a lot about this being in an 82 square foot space. We have to be very intentional about what we're doing. We've got soft serve. We just have the 2 flavors. Sandwiches, we've got 6 at lunch, 3 at breakfast. It's very intentionally small. Let's talk about like the cross utilization of items, and basically every item that we have in there kind of has a lot of times has a multiple use.
Yeah, we even are using chicken from Haberdish. So we're frying off chicken breasts that we have. Sometimes we sell a lot more dark meat than white meat, so we have some leftover chicken breasts, and it makes the best chicken salad. It is not gluten-free, unfortunately, because it's the breaded chicken breast, but we fry off some extra chicken breasts and pull the meat off there and make awesome chicken salad. So that's, I think, a great cross-utilization, a great waste item. And also, like, let's use amazing chicken to do this. That's, hormone free and non-GMO and that kind of stuff. And we have great chicken salad. I love that sandwich. And then the same where we have pesto that we have. The pesto brie fries are one of our famous items at Crepe Cellar, and now they're at Growlers. And you can get that same pesto on our sandwich back there.
That's right. So that cross-utilization piece across the 3 restaurants that operate out of this kitchen that we have here is huge. It allows us to be able to operate that business out there.
Yeah, and just, pastry. We use their pastry items. We use the meats that go on our charcuterie board. We use the turkey that goes in the turkey sandwich here at Growlers. So, yeah, we are all on top of it, and it's been great operational efficiency, but also just amazing pantry to work from.
So here we are, literally 5 days after opening. It has been a
Holy
little
smokes.
different than what we planned. We have had incredibly strong demand, which has been awesome. But that comes with its share of challenges. There's a lot of things operationally in that little tiny space that we've got to work through, and we're still working through. We do not have all the answers. But what would you say are some of the biggest surprises here 5 days in that you've seen that we've been going through?
I mean, the biggest surprise is just the support that we've had. This is, our slowest weekend
of the year
usually, which is a great time to open. So I'm glad we opened this, this July 4th weekend. But wow, lines around the corner.
Not around the corner, but thankfully
or
not.
Down this lines down the street. When I come around the corner, I'm like, oh, wow! Every
so
time,
many people.
20 people in line, and yeah, just the fact that we're at twice, or even on some days 3 times what we expected, and what we prepped for and what we planned for, is just amazing. It's a big strain on the staff, and it's tough because the biggest bottleneck are the rolls. We're making our rolls every single day, and we can only make so many in the oven at one time, and so that's a lot.
And these ovens are used for Everondelo's bread too, so they are constantly being used.
A lot of pressure on the staff, and yes, we got to make focaccia bread too, and that pastry team has been out of control working, but luckily we have a big team, and everybody is so supportive, especially when we have an opening. And our pastry team, shout out to Savannah, our pastry team at Lilia Hall in Supperland really came through, and I called them late at night after the first day, and I said, hey, we need to start, seeing what we can free up and what resources we have to see if we can start making some bread in a few days. And the next morning, they started delivering bread over here. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. And to have, an extra, 250 rolls that are made elsewhere and brought in, it just takes off the load from this kitchen that's working like crazy right now.
Yes. And yeah, so that's the biggest thing. And that's what's slowing down our ticket times, have been a little bit rough. And it's just hard when you're making a sandwich, you don't have what you need, and you're in the back prepping more.
Yeah.
So you have to leave the line to go, slice cabbage or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And that's what's really
Day
hurting
1
us.
and 2, I found myself down at Sprouts, the new grocery store that's here in NoDa, just down the road, picking up as many Kaiser rolls as I possibly could, because in our basically people were waiting for bread, so we had bread baking in the oven. We had 100 and some rolls baking in the oven, but it was going to take another 15 minutes till they're ready, and of course they need a minute to sit. So we ran down to Sprouts and picked up Kaiser rolls down there. Lovely group of people down there at Sprouts, but brought those up. So we were able to just buy ourselves 30 minutes till we could get the rest of the bread baked. But then you're having to say, I'm so sorry that you don't have our homemade roll. We have to give them at a discount, all that kind of stuff. There's been a lot of just working through, muddling through these first few days that have, you expect it with a new restaurant concept, but then when you have these kind of wrenches of like super high demand, which is amazing, an amazing problem to have, you're throwing other wrenches that you've just got to kind of work through.
And I think that's the thing. When you're at 2 to 3x of what your expectations are, and you're trying to make bread, but then you're forgetting, oh, I need to go slice more turkey.
Yeah.
So it has been a lot, and the staff has been very strapped all weekend, but we got through. They excelled. They did such a great job, and their attitudes are so good. And we're going to have an awesome sandwich shop.
It's a really great team that we've got rocking with us right here in the first opening here. But labor is one thing too. At the donut shop, we always had 2 people there working. Generally speaking, we'd have 2 people working there. And now we're saying you need 3 people to be working, plus probably a 4th person
prepping and floating, and
kind of as a float,
resupply.
Maybe working in Everondolo. And this is just something we're workshopping right now. But the idea of they're working at Everondolo and prepping there, but checking in to see how they can help fulfill and backstock for the deli. But that's been kind of crazy. I feel like knowing that we need 3 people.
Yes, in an 82 square foot space. And at one point, I think we had 5 or 6 people in there, and I don't know where people were standing, but
we were doing that. And mind you, another thing, we've toyed around with DoorDash a little bit. We've had that on here and there once in a while. Big mistake, because we're not able to quite handle that yet. So we're not going to offer online orders until we can really get our ticket times down. We want them to be, it'd be great if they were 5 to 7 minutes, but 10 minutes is also fine. A lot of times we're at 15 minutes, and we've at, during the peak times, we've been around 25 to 30 minutes. So that's where we're running into problems.
We're going to get that down. But DoorDash is another 30 to 40% instantly the moment we turn it on.
Yes.
So we'll have to.
They just got us in the weeds the one day we had it on all during lunch. So we're learning what we can handle, what we can't handle, and all that kind of stuff. So I think this is also an interesting kind of thing that we're trying to improve is the heat back there. It has been, now Charlotte has been ungodly hot. We've been clocking temperatures in close to 100 degrees with the heat index even above that. But it's been quite warm back there.
Well, so we've had a balancing issue just in general in the space. And a lot of that was we had a lot of air being pumped into the space, and then the donut machine pumping a lot of air out with its hood. And so now that the donut machine hood has been removed, our air balance got off. And so when we were opening the to-go window to sell or put something outside, the air
flooded in.
As our maintenance guy likes to say, the hot, swampy air.
Hot, swampy air was flooding into our space.
Was coming in, and it was coming in at such a rapid rate. We were looking at fans and AC and all those things, and nothing would have put a dent in this at all because of the amount of air just coming in. So we kind of got here early one morning and started adjusting the hood over at Everondolo, and I think that has made a big change back there. So we've kind of dialed in the balance throughout the whole building, and we've been really focusing on that. And now, we'll see what we can do to help back there. And help
I feel
cool
like
it off a little bit more.
About 10 degrees lower than it was on day 1 and day 2 before you made that switch. So that's
easy.
I think everybody
with a heat
that.
Index of 105 this week.
Makes a big difference. Yeah. I have, usually when we go to open a restaurant, the other most recent one was Alleluia Hall, which was about a year ago. Huge project, 140 seats in a historic church in Dilworth. We serve a steak and surf menu, super complex, amazing space. We got there, and it's very quickly that Jeff and I kind of step out of the operations because we have an incredible team, and we know, first of all, they know more than us about running those operations and keeping the place going. But we usually step aside very quickly. But I have not wanted to let a day go by where I'm not checking on this place right now. Or I'll find that I just stay here at Growlers and work because the deli is attached to this space where we are right now. And I just want to be here because I have, it's a new team. It's we're running into a lot of challenges with the demand. I want to make sure guests are happy. I want to make sure our team, stays with us and feels supported. So we actually had our marketing team spearing olives the other day. I did probably 2 jars the other day, to just sitting there like, we need olives. I was like, okay, take them. They'd come and take whatever they could while they could, or running down to Sprouts, or just putting in orders of capicola with the kitchen and stuff. And it's I guess for such a tiny space, I didn't expect to still be needing to be here, or feel the need to be here. But it just needs a little bit of nurturing and care. They'll get it. There's a lot of things we've just got to figure out.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And we're just not there yet.
I actually enjoy that part of the job of just problem solving, of like going to the team. What is your biggest problem, and trying to solve it for them, whether it be the hood and the heat back there. That was kind of my project over the weekend, or now we're into production and trying to speed things up, and ticket times, and building them tools to help pars better and prep better, and those things.
I think back to our business school days, looking at the operations of how they're putting sandwiches together, assembly line process, or do you let people make an individual sandwich and get it out the door? But also looking at where the bottlenecks are. And you mentioned bread being a bottleneck, but we're about to have that solved. So then you got to look at the next bottleneck. Yeah. And I would say it's probably backfill, right?
And prepping. And we both love the book, The Goal. It is the best operations business school book.
That's right.
Out there.
But it feels like that.
It talks through all of these issues. But yeah, that is the thing, is where are the bottlenecks, and how are we going to fix them? And yeah, it's nice that we have a lot of resources that I think we can rely on and think outside of the box, where, the team here is thinking, oh, we have to, come in at 2 a.m. to bake bread. And I'm thinking, well, maybe it's just that Lelia Hall pastry team needs to get in an hour early, or help out a little bit more, or, start baking bread, between brunch and dinner, or whatever. So we were able to kind of bring in some more resources and help those bottlenecks.
Yep. Well, we're so excited to see this space continue to evolve. We are, just a few days in, and I'm sure there'll be lots of lessons that we will learn as we go.
I love the sandwiches over there.
They're great. People
awesome.
Do seem to be really liking the sandwich. We just have to work on the ticket times.
That's right.
Which we'll get there.
We'll get there.
But thanks for listening. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. We'd love to hear from you. Come visit us at the deli, too. If you're here in Charlotte, we'd love to see you. And thanks for listening. We'll catch you on the next one.